We will discuss about metatarsal bones. Now we know they are five in number and they are oriented from medial to lateral, and they are the example of miniature long bones forming skeleton of 4 foot. So this is first, second, third, fourth and fifth metatarsal. Proximally they are connected to the three cuneiform and cuboid to form tarsometatarsal joints, which are plain synovial joints, whereas distally they are connected to the bases of proximal phalanges of the toe, and they form metatarsophalangeal joints, which are ellipsoid synovial joints. Now when you see the individual metatarsal, they are having a base which is broad, then they are having a prismoid shaped shaft which is tapering from posterior to anterior. See this, so it will taper, and at the distal end they are having a globular head. As we have discussed, it will connect with the base of distal phalanx to form metatarsophalangeal joint. So this is the base and this is the shaft. The shaft is having a concave plantar surface which is concave from before backward. See this, and the dorsal surface is convex or flat. The head is flattened from side to side. See this, and the articular surface is situated distally, which is convex. Now along the dorsal aspect of the head you can see two tuberosities. Now these are for attachment of the deep transverse metatarsal ligaments. See over here. So with this tuberosities or tubercles, the deep transverse metatarsal ligaments are connecting heads of all the metatarsals and then they remain fixed. Now let's discuss individual metatarsal bones. So this is first metatarsal I have, and you can clearly make out that it is the shortest, stoutest and thickest out of all five. See this. And one more thing about its shaft is it is constant, unlike the shafts of other metatarsals which are tapering from base to the head. See this. And this modification is just because it is adapted for weight transmission. Just see, it is touching the surface, particularly the head, and underneath the head along its plantar surface you will find two longitudinal grooves which will lodge tendon of flexor hallucis brevis, and again there are presence of sesamoid bones over here. Similarly, when you see the base along the proximal aspect, there is a single large kidney shaped articular facet, and this is directed laterally. Now this will articulate with corresponding articular facet along the medial cuneiform. So this is medial cuneiform, and distally you can see a corresponding articular facet which is again kidney shape. So these two will connect like this to form tarso-metatarsal joint. Now with the hilum which is facing laterally of this articular facet, you can clearly identify the side of given first metatarsal. So if you see the left metatarsal over here, you can see this is the kidney shaped articular facet and hilum is facing laterally. This is dorsal aspect, this is plantar aspect. Again the shaft is showing concavity along the plantar aspect. So this is plantar aspect, this is dorsal aspect, this is head, this is base, and the hilum is facing laterally. So this is left first metatarsal. Similarly over here the hilum is facing laterally, so this is right metatarsal, right first metatarsal. Now if you see the base along the infromedial aspect, see over here there is an muscular impression. See this. Now this will provide attachment to tibialis anterior along with the corresponding muscular impression along the infromedial aspect of the medial cuneiform. So here there is insertion of tibialis anterior. Similarly, along the infrolateral aspect, along with the corresponding muscular impression of the medial cuneiform, here there is insertion of peroneus longus. So this is the point where there is insertion of peroneus longus takes place. Basically, peroneus longus will pass through the notch along the lateral aspect of the cuboid, and then it will traverse through the groove which is found underneath the cuboid, and finally it gets inserted over here. Distally the head will articulate with corresponding articular facet of the base of proximal phalanx to form first metatarsophalangeal joint, again it is an ellipsoid variety of synovial joint that we already discussed. Now next is second metatarsal. As you can see over here, it is longest metatarsal out of 5, and proximally it is connected to medial, intermediate, lateral cuneiform, and along the side the base is connected to the first and third metatarsals. So it is considered to be the most secured or most fixed metatarsal, and that's why it is behaving as an axis for the movements of toe, particularly abduction and adduction movements. Now the base of the second metatarsal, medially it is showing a single facet which is situated along the dorsal aspect, and that will articulate with the corresponding facet found along the medial cuneiform. So here this is medial cuneiform, and along the lateral aspect dorsally you can see a corresponding articular facet. So with this, these two will connect with each other like this. Similarly, laterally it is having two articular facets, one along the dorsal aspect and another along the plantar aspect. Now these two articular facets, you can clearly make out over here that they are subdivided into two, proximal and distal. So one above and one below, proximal facets will connect with the lateral cuneiform, and this upper and lower distal articular facet will connect with the third metatarsal. So let's see how they are connected. So this is the lateral cuneiform. This is its dorsal surface, plantar aspect, medial, lateral surface, proximal and distal surface, and along the medial surface you can see two corresponding articular facets which will articulate with the similar articular facet found along the lateral surface of base of the second metatarsals over here like this, and the articular facets which are left distally, they will connect with the corresponding articular facet of the third metatarsal. So similarly over here you can see this is base of the second metatarsal, and over here will be the connection between second metatarsal and lateral cuneiform will take place, and distally the second metatarsal is connected to the third metatarsal. So if you see the third metatarsal, along its medial side, along the base, there will be two corresponding articular facets. See over here, you can clearly see two articular facets, one above, one below, and this will articulate with the lateral surface or lateral side of base of the second metatarsal like this. So this is how these two are connected, and over here will be the lateral cuneiform. See this. This is how they are connected. Now the proximal surface is having a triangular articular facet, and this will connect with the corresponding articular facet found along the distal aspect of the intermediate cuneiform like this. Now when you see the metatarsal bone in anatomical position, or when you try to put it in anatomical position, the base is having a tapered end which should be facing downward and laterally like this. So all these metatarsals are oriented in such manner. Particularly you can see the fifth metatarsal. See this. This is how they are oriented. And as we have discussed, the shaft is having a concave plantar aspect, so it should be facing downward. The flattened or convex dorsal surface should face up, and this is how you should hold it in their anatomical position. Now the third metatarsal. So rest of the features are same with second metatarsal. It is slightly shorter as compared to the second metatarsal, and again the same thing what we have discussed is along the medial aspect of the base there are two articular facets, and they will articulate with the corresponding facet of the lateral aspect of the base of the second metatarsal. Proximally, it will connect with the corresponding facet along the lateral cuneiform, like this. And laterally, it is having a single articular facet along the base, so that will articulate with corresponding facet found along the medial aspect of the fourth metatarsal. See over here, there is a corresponding facet, and this is how these two are connected, like this. So same thing you can see in articulated foot. So this is the base of third metatarsal, and over here it is connected to the lateral cuneiform medially by two facet with the second metatarsal, and laterally by single facet with the fourth metatarsal. So this is how all around it is connected. Now next is fourth metatarsal. Again the features are same, but it is slightly shorter than the third, and on either side it is having single oval to circular articular facet, and that will connect with third and fifth metatarsals respectively. So this is fourth and this is third. So over here laterally there is single facet, over here medially there is single facet. So this is how third and fourth are connected, and laterally again there is a single facet. So over here there is a corresponding facet along the fifth. So these two are connected like this. See this. So this is how they are connected by intermetatarsal joint. Again they are plain synovial joints. Now proximally there is a quadrangular articular facet, and that will articulate with corresponding articular facet found along the distal surface of the cuboid. So this is right cuboid, and this is proximal surface, this is distal surface. So when you see the distal surface, it is having two articular facet, one quadrangular along the medial aspect and one triangular along the lateral aspect. So this quadrangular facet, which is medially, that will connect with the corresponding articular facet found along the proximal aspect of the base, and these two are connected like this. The same thing you can appreciate in articulated foot. So this is the cuboid, and that is connected distally with fourth and fifth metatarsals. So first, second and third are connected by medial, intermediate and lateral cuneiform, whereas fourth and fifth are connected with the cuboid. Now bases of second, third and fourth metatarsal along their plantar aspect, they are providing attachment to a slip from tibialis posterior, as well as these three together are providing attachment to oblique head of adductor hallucis. Now next is fifth metatarsal. You can easily identify this metatarsal by a bony projection which is found infralaterally. This is termed as styloid process. See over here, and this is the styloid process of fifth metatarsal. So with that it can be easily identified. Now medially with a single facet, it is connected with the fourth metatarsal that we have already discussed, like this, and proximally by a triangular articular facet, it is connected with the corresponding articular facet of the cuboid. So fourth and fifth are connected by cuboid like this. Now this is dorsal aspect of the base. Now this will receive insertion of tendon of peroneus tertius, whereas this is dorsal aspect of the styloid process. Now this will receive insertion of peroneus brevis. Along the plantar aspect of the base of fifth metatarsal, you can see a groove, and that will lose tendon of abductor digiti minimi, whereas the plantar surface of the base will provide origin to flexor digiti minimi brevis. So if we revise all the attachments along the five metatarsals, So the tubercles along the dorsal aspect of the head will provide attachment to four bands of deep transverse metatarsal ligaments. The infromedial aspect of the base along with the medial cuneiform will provide insertion to tibialis anterior. Similarly, infrolateral aspect of the base along with the corresponding surface of medial cuneiform will receive principal insertion of peroneus longus. The bases of second, third and fourth metatarsal will provide origin to oblique head of adductor hallucis, and they are also providing insertion to slips of tendon of tibialis posterior. Now the groove along the head of the first metatarsal will lodge tendon of flexor hallucis brevis, and groove along the base of the fifth metatarsal along the plantar surface will lodge tendon of abductor digiti minimi. The plantar surface of the base will provide origin to flexor digiti minimi brevis. The dorsal surface of the styloid process will receive insertion of peroneus brevis. The dorsal surface of base of fifth metatarsal will receive insertion of peroneus tertius, and the spaces between the shaft will be lodged by introchai. So on either side of the shafts of all five metatarsals will provide origin to bipinnate head of dorsal introchai, whereas the shafts of third, fourth and fifth metatarsal along their medial side, they will provide origin to three plantar introchai. Now let's quickly revise important features of all five metatarsals. So first is shortest, stoutest and thickest out of five, with a single kidney shaped articular facet with hilum facing laterally. Now second is having two main articular facets, one above and one below along the lateral aspect, and medially single facet. Now just opposite to that, the third is having two facets along the medial side and one facet along the lateral side. So this is how you can easily differentiate second and third metatarsal. See over here, along the lateral aspect there are two facets, along the medial aspect there are two facets. So these two are connected like this. This will help you to differentiate second and third metatarsal. Plus you can also compare the length of given metatarsals. So second is longest. Now next is fourth. It is having two facets on either side, both are oval to circular. So single facets along the medial and lateral side, both are oval and circular, so that will be fourth. And fifth is having a styloid process, with that you can easily identify, plus it is having a single facet along the medial side. So these are the features will help you to identify and differentiate given metatarsals, plus you will also able to determine side of given metatarsals. Finally, let's see ossification of metatarsals. As you know, they are miniature long bones, so they are having only one secondary ossification center. So that appears at the base of first metatarsal at around third month, and at the heads of other metatarsals at third to fourth month, and they will get fused at around 17 to 18 years of age. So the secondary center of ossification appears only at one end, and that is why they are termed as miniature long bones. If they appear for other ends also, like head of first metatarsal and bases of other metatarsal, then these epiphyses are then termed as aberrant epiphyses. Otherwise, normally the epiphysis appears only at base of first metatarsal and heads of other metatarsals only. So this is regarding general features, attachments and ossification of metatarsals. Hope you have understood well. Thanks for watching.